Hello everyone. In today's video I'm going to show you guys some recent T.T.M returns. So let's get started. First one took only 8 days and the person signed 3 of 3 for me. And that person would be Mr. Ozzie Newsome. There's 1, 2, and here's the third one. Now Mr. Ozzie Newsome attended the University of Alabama. And after he was done playing at the University of Alabama, he was drafted in the first round of the 1978 draft by the Cleveland Browns. For his career with the Cleveland Browns, Mr. Newsome had 662 receptions, 7,980 receiving yards, and 47 TDs. Also, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time First-Team All-Pro, 4-time Second-Team All-Pro. He's a member of the NFL 1980s All-Decades team. He was a consensus All-American at Alabama. He was also a 2-time First-Team All-SEC at Alabama. He was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 1994. He was elected to Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1999. And after his playing career, Mr. Ozzie Newsome became an executive with the Baltimore Ravens, where he won 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 35 and 45. And this is Hall of Famer Mr. Ozzie Newsome. All right, the next one took 9 days, and the player signed 2 of 2 for me. And that player would be Mr. Todd Blackledge. There's 1. And here's number 2. I like the hairdo in this one. The old mullet rocking. Business in the front, party in the back. So Mr. Todd Blackledge went to the Pennsylvania State University. We know it as Penn State. He was a 3-time starter at Penn State, where he guided the Nittany Lions to a 31-5 record. And he also won the 1982 National Championship when Penn State defeated Herschel Walker and the Georgia Bulldogs. He also won the Davey O'Brien Award for the best quarterback in the nation. After his career at Penn State, he was picked in the 7th overall in the 1983 draft by the Chiefs. He was picked ahead of future Hall of Famer Dan Marino in that draft. So for his career, Mr. Blackledge didn't have a great career. He was 15-14 as a starter. He threw for 5,286 yards with 29 TDs and 38 interceptions for the Chiefs and Steelers. And this is Mr. Todd Blackledge. Now the next one took 30 days, and the person signed 3 of 3 for me, and that person would be Mr. Dan Dierdorf. There's 1, 2, and here's number 3. Now, Mr. Dan Dierdorf was drafted in the 2nd round by the Cardinals, and he was regarded as the best lineman in the NFL from 1974 to 1978. In 1975, he and the rest of his offensive line set an NFL record for allowing only 8 sacks in 14 games. For his career, he played in 160 games, had 7 fumble recoveries. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time First-Team All-Pro. He was a 2nd-Team All-Pro. He was a member of the 1970s NFL All-Decades team. He's in the Cardinals Ring of Honor. And while at the University of Michigan, he was a consensus All-American in 1970, and he was 2nd-team All-American in 1969. He was also a first-team All-Big Ten Conference player in 1969 and 1970. He was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 2000 and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1996. This is Mr. Dan Dierdorf. Last but not least, this one got back to me in a blistering 7 days, and the person signed 4 of 4 for me. And that person would be, set this to the side, Mr. Dan Reeves. That's 1, 2, 3, and I'll hold this one. Now, Mr. Dan Reeves played for the University of South Carolina. He was undrafted after college, and he had several offers to play for the Cowboys, the Chargers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. but he was signed by the Cowboys as an undrafted free agent in 1965. For his career, Mr. Reeves had 1,990 yards rushing and 1,693 receiving yards with 42 TDs. As a coach, he led the Broncos to 3 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 21, 22, and 24, and he also led the Atlanta Falcons to Super Bowl 33. He actually participated in 9 Super Bowls, and that's second only to Bill Belichick's 11 Super Bowls. So he was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 6 and Super Bowl 12. He was a 2-time AP NFL Coach of the Year in 1993 and 1998. He's in the Denver Broncos Ring of Fame. And for his career as a coach, he had 190 wins, 165 losses, and 2 ties. Now in the playoffs, he had 11 wins and 9 losses. And this is Mr. Dan Reeves. Also, Mr. Reeves answered a few of my questions. He said he played guard and not a lot of points when he was playing basketball in high school. And he also played right field at South Carolina on the baseball team. So he was pretty talented as a baseball and football player at South Carolina. So that's all I have for today, folks. I want to thank Mr. Ozzie Newsome, Mr. Todd Blackledge, Mr. Dan Dierdorf, and Mr. Dan Reeves for signing these and getting them back to me. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Just remember, keep collecting, keep searching for those hidden gems, and keep having fun. Later.